I generally don't like to talk about finances. My philosophy of finance or money is, money is a tool. I'm not too tied to money. I see it as a tool to do good in the world. Hi, my name is Benjamin Dada. I'm 25 years old. I make over $60,000 yearly, and I live in Lagos, Nigeria. I have two major endeavors or activities, as you like to call it. One is I work 9 to 5 for a startup, right? So in my 9 to 5, I do everything from product partnerships. How do I negotiate relationships with banks? How do I negotiate relationships with other service providers that can improve the value proposition of our own app to our audience or like our consumers? On the side, I've been running a media publication, which is in my name, benjamindada.com. And basically, we tell stories about tech and innovation, startup ecosystem in Nigeria. I've actually been living in Lagos for like most of my life. I've spent only 1 year outside of Lagos. For me, to succeed in Lagos, you have to sort of create your own environment. I know that can be a privileged statement because many people cannot really afford to create their environment and will look to the government to do a bunch of things. But like where I stay, I have 3 different sources of power. I have the regular, PHCN or NEPA as we call it in Nigeria. I have an inverter that is also solar enabled, and then I have like a generator. So most times I don't feel the brunt of no light, or when the grid collapses, as it now often does, I'm always protected or covered. By creating my environment in Lagos, I don't really feel too much of the deficits, so to speak. I was lucky enough to find a really decent 2-bedroom apartment in Ogudu GRA. We actually got the house before they built it. So like when they were still building the house, we paid for it and like, yeah, we want to stay here. When I got into the house, I changed up the sitting room a bit, but there's a kitchen, visitors toilet, all the rooms are in suites. A decent apartment in like Ogudu GRA is like a 2-bedroom will cost over 2 million naira per year. I generally don't like to talk about finances. I see a lot of people tweet about what they make, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's great. But my philosophy of finance or money is, money is a tool. I'm not too tied to money. I see it as a tool to do good in the world. My streams of income, they usually come from like my 9 to 5 and from like one-off projects, either like doing influencer gigs for brands or like, hosting spaces, moderating panel sessions in tech and all of that. I don't really have any key investment right now. I just keep most of my money in USD. Over time, I'm going to, begin to take out of that USD to buy other key assets. In terms of how I plan my finances, I just have an amount I want to save. So when I was starting out in 2018, I was saving like 50%. And that was possible because I was living with my parents and I didn't have too much cost. But I know like many people now will struggle to save 50%. Thankfully, between 2018 and now, my income grew by maybe over 100%, over 200%, over 300%, like literally 5x. Not only am I able to save 50%, I'm able to still have a decent life. So every month I spend like $600 on food and groceries. Before I got married, I used to be a big cereal fan. In fact, my earliest cereal was Cerelac because I'd always wanted to have Cerelac, but when I was a kid, they stopped giving us Cerelac and I was just craving it. But then I still eat like Cheerios, fruit and fiber and all of that. My wife sometimes doubles as a caterer, so she likes experimenting a lot of things. I remember recently we had like giz dodo. Left to me, I would never have made giz dodo, so thank you, Moi. But yeah, about $600 should be fine for us to eat and do grocery shopping in a month. I was lucky to grow up with both parents, and then I have like 2 siblings. So I'm the middle child. right? And I'm the first boy. I have an older sister. I've really enjoyed being a part of my family. They came for my graduation in the UK. Whenever I have like big news, I share with them on our WhatsApp group. So I've really enjoyed that warmth. Growing up, the age or the time in my life I can remember as pivotal was SS2. So I don't know if you're watching from outside Nigeria, that's like the penultimate year to your graduation from high school. That's when I became more aware of like, career paths. That's when I became more serious in my life. When I was going to the university, I wanted to study medicine, but thankfully I didn't study medicine because I feel like my life would have been different and I might not have enjoyed it. So I ended up studying a course in computer science department, which is called Management Information System. That course was what opened me up to tech, which is what I'm now doing now. Because in MIS, we did programming, we did business courses, and down the line, I met people who had interned at all these multinationals, and that really changed my perspective to not being a local champion and being like a global citizen. So I did a bunch of internships, Andela, Google, KPMG while as a student. And I also had a very good result. So coming out of school, I had like the pedigree, as you might want to call it, to get things that I wanted to get outside of school. I also got the opportunity to write for a tech publication. And that also opened my eyes to the world of tech journalism. After writing for like a year or two, I decided that, why don't I just go build my own thing? It would be my rules, it would be like the kind of quality I want, to be everything that I can control. And this was also further boosted by my MSc, which was in the UK. So I learned how to do more rigorous analytical writing. When I was starting out, I was trying to figure out what name to call the blog. I didn't know any name. I didn't want to just have the same tech this, tech that, tech this, tech that in front of my name. So I decided to start with a domain name I've always had, which was my personal domain name. And that's how I really got here. So what I do to keep fit, given the fact that I stay at home and I sit on a chair all the time, is Saturday football. Like, you can invite me to wedding, you can invite me to anything. My company might be doing something Saturday, but I must play that ball in the morning. And then in terms of like other fitness routines, sometimes I just take walks. I have like an Apple Watch that sort of tracks and tells you, oh, maybe today's the day you accomplish your goal, and I'm like, go and sit down. But generally, like, I can take walks to the gate or take walks to supermarket instead of using the car. I also play video games, football as well. So I play FIFA. I have a FIFA 22 and a PS5 at home, and I play mostly with my brother and my neighbor. My brother beats me most of the times. Me and my neighbor, we used to drag. But yeah, I enjoy playing FIFA as well. And I typically use PSG or Chelsea, or I can go lower depending on what the other person is using. The most expensive thing I have owned was my car. I saved 3 years to buy that car. Funny enough, now I can buy the car in like a month. I think my life is just changing now. Most of the things I wanted to get as a kid, I'm only just getting it. The PS5 was also like the first time I was owning a PlayStation console in my life or in my family. Those are things that I indulge in once. I'm looking to buy the iPhone 14 when it comes out. So I think that'll be expensive as well. But again, I don't spend a lot of money on myself. So all these small gadgets are things that I used to just tell myself, bro, you work hard, you should enjoy some niceties of life. I think a long-term goal for me is to build my media company into an even bigger entity. For personal life, it's simple. I want to give birth. I want to have a baby, and I know like that's like another work on its own. Like, it requires a lot of work to bring up a child. So looking forward to that. For like my 9 to 5, I want to grow in a company and be promoted multiple times, become a vice president, become a director, and all of that. I'm grateful for education. I think that has been like one of the key stepping stones to get into where I am today. I attended a top private school in Nigeria, and I was able to go abroad for like a master's degree. So I think those two things play a role. And finally, I am most grateful for my friends, right? And many of them we don't talk often, but everybody just happens to have each other's back. And I wish everyone well. There's a lot more to you as a person, and feel free to like explore all of the things you feel interested in. What you will find is some of them you want to go deeper in, some of them you want to just stop investing in. Feel free to like explore different facets of your life. You can be more, and I wish you all the best.